Good morning, everybody. I hope your day is off to an excellent start. It is Wednesday. It's going to be a short week. Remember, Friday is a pubic holiday, so you don't have to worry about that. I've got two guests in the studio, but you know what? They were here on Monday already, so they've been waiting here the whole time, sitting in the studio, subsisting off of cockroaches and breadcrumbs that have been left by the rest of the crew here,
and coffee. You guys have good coffee.
And coffee. Thank God. Yeah, we've got okay coffee. It's instant here because, unfortunately, the kitchen, which has one of those fancy ass barista machine.
Yes.
You know those ones?
Yeah.
That you need a fucking license to operate.
And all the tools, the machinery.
So we've got one of those in the kitchen, but they only open that at like 7:30 in the morning. So by then, all my guests have already gone. And then basically James and Flex go and sit there and like socialize with people for the rest of the day.
What's the point of that? Coffee is for the first thing in the morning. I mean,
so Mark Mdluli's here.
Yes.
Very nice to see you. Mark is no stranger to the show. He's pretty much, I think you're like up there in terms of how many appearances you've had on the show.
Huh? Yeah, I'm one of the oldies. That's
You're
for
one
sure.
of the OGs, dude. And then you brought a white. You've got a white friend. Which is so nice.
I do. Kevin Keuvelaar, everybody.
So nice of you. So tell me about Kevin Keuvelaar.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about you, dude.
What
badass chain you've got going on there?
I've had this since I was 18.
You're not a mechanic, or you're not a mechanic.
No.
Okay.
So I'm a magician and a hypnotist.
Close. I almost got it. Mechanic, magician, potato.
Card mechanic. Yeah.
No. So you're a magician.
Correct.
And you guys are actually doing a show together.
Yeah.
Which is how you probably met, right?
We actually met at a pub that he used to own called Winston's. It was my local watering
Where was that?
hole.
Do you still own it?
No, I don't. It was in Fairland.
Okay.
We had comedy nights there and live bands.
Well, can I give you credit, even though you're not the owner of that bar anymore? I just love people who actually help comics and entertainment in this country and make an effort to, allow people to do their thing. And I just think that's awesome. So even if you're not running the thing anymore, the fact that you did, and you're a guy who cares about that kind of thing and knows that that's what people want, they just want to be entertained.
100%.
Well done, dude. That's awesome.
And that's actually what made his venue great. Now it's gone to shit. But one of the best things about it is that there was live entertainment.
You mean like the whole country under the ANC has gone to shit?
Yeah, basically the ANC is taking over Kevin's pub. So that's what's happening over there.
Yeah, it's amazing that there are people who, despite the fact that they're trying to make it as hard as possible for you to run a business, there are still people who are trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so difficult I don't know anyone in business in South Africa at the moment who isn't having a really tough time. Look, most of them are not complaining because who's listening, right? It's like, for example, if you have a wife and she's not putting out, no one wants to hear you. None of your friends are going, tell me again about how your wife's not putting out.
Yeah.
That's how it feels for many people in business. It's like you've been married to this person for such a long time and they shout at you and they moan and they nag and they're on your case the whole time, but you never ever get any fucking pussy and you just had enough, right?
Yeah. Or it's like somebody complaining about how their life went to shit in COVID. Like, we understand, but all our lives went to shit in COVID, But yeah, anyway, we actually used to party together without much interaction. That's not how we really met. We knew each other from the pub. It was my local watering hole where I go get my beer and my ladies. I was always there. But he was also busy doing the same thing, just on the other side.
You were destined to end up as friends. Yeah. I like that.
Eventually, we got booked for the same show at Tiger's Milk in Northcliffe, and then that's actually where the friendship started. Then we started doing our own show together at his own pub. We realized that we're both awesome. We were like, let's keep on doing this, and then shows after shows after shows after shows.
All right. That's what an exciting origin story.
That's how we met.
So exciting.
And we lived happily ever after.
Yeah, that's very good. All right, so apparently you're doing this show together. The greatest pickpocket magician in the nation. Is that what you are?
Yep, 100%.
You're a pickpocket as well?
Steal people's belts, ties, pretty much anything off them.
So you do know about running a business in South Africa.
100%.
Basically have to just steal from people. That's pretty much because we've got the kleptocratic government that we do have. a lot of people have decided that the best way to make a living is to just take other people's shit, right?
Including Kevin.
That's great. Yeah, Mark thinks his phone was stolen the last time he got pickpocketed.
But actually, you just took it.
Yeah,
That
he
was-
still has it.
And you sold it at the taxi rank.
100%.
That taxi rank, they'll take anything. Huh?
They will.
Third hand, fourth hand, broken screen. They don't give a damn.
But yeah, I've seen these guys take watches like from millionaires and stuff, and they get so worried because they actually have really expensive watches. You're
But
literally stealing.
sometimes you give it back, sometimes you don't.
100%. So I never wear a watch, otherwise they'll catch me.
Yeah. Well, where do you guys hide the watches? That's all I'm worried about.
Well, no, Mark's got an interesting one with that.
In terms of,
Well, with the watches.
oh
Yeah, he
he's
likes
just-
to give them to chicks.
Oh, thank God. I thought for a second you were going towards the inevitable conclusion that he hides it up his arsehole. That's a great relief. And by the way, a little clip with Leanne talking about her aunt's stretched arsehole has gone completely viral. I
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah. People just,
That should be viral. Like people need to know that that's possible and that
Right.
happens. It's actually very motivating.
I've
I
never
like that
ever
idea.
imagined that there were people in this world whose arseholes needed stretching.
Yeah,
That was not something I knew about.
and I thought, that's what butt plugs are for. But obviously,
Well, evidently, this aunt had never heard of those, but you know, most people wouldn't have. I did see a very funny thing posted this week on, I think it was Instagram. Someone showed, you know, the AirPods. You got
Yeah.
they've got that kind of the big hole that you obviously hear through, and then there's that other little thing. There's a little hole there too. And someone said, "Oh, what is this other hole for on the AirPods?" And somebody said, "For birthdays and special occasions." All right. So we're going to hear about your show in a little while. Of course, Mark has been well known to audiences also who've been watching SABC1, whoever they may be.
Yeah.
A comedian also. You're a SAFTA award-winning TV host. And you were doing that show with the renovations and shit too.
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
You see, I do pay attention to you. a lot.
Yeah, sometimes, every now and
Yeah.
again.
Are you still doing that or not?
It's on repeat right now. So the season ended around January, and now
TV
it's playing.
people haven't commissioned a new one.
And they haven't paid me for the repeat also,
Yeah,
by
there we
the
go.
way. SABC, I'm coming for you. I know where that Tower of Mordor is. I'm going to come.
Dude.
Going to come with some protesters. But anyway, the funny thing about that show is that there's actually a knockoff, like a Timu version on SABC1 right now.
Oh, really?
I don't even know how they allowed it to happen because it's literally the blueprint of Reno Race, except it's one presenter, like 2 construction guys instead of 15.
So in other words,
And
this is like when you want to renovate your house, but you can't afford to do it properly. So you get the Fong Kong.
exactly.
Because they
Timu.
don't really screw the pipes in properly, or
Yeah.
they don't use the right kind of materials. So the
Yeah.
place falls down a year later, but they don't care because the TV show's done.
Exactly. It's
Right.
called Restyle My Style, and I'm exposing them because
Oh,
I'm actually
boy.
touched. I can't believe the SABC let that happen because it's literally the exact same show that we have, except they do one room and the reveal, because we do a reveal to
Yeah.
the family at the end of the show, is literally just one angle of a wall like this.
Yeah, so
Where they put a
basically,
desk instead
so
of-
they've done it super cheap.
Yeah.
And the people who had the renovation done, they think they've scored, but actually in the long run, they probably end up paying a whole lot more to fix the fuck up.
Exactly.
You know, someone once said to me in construction, and I've done a lot of kind of stuff around the house, right? In terms of additions, renovations, all the rest of it. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If something is too cheap, and you'll know this from running a venue, yeah. If something is too cheap and it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
You're going to pay 4 or 5 times for it. It's like if you find a place on the market and you're looking for a house to buy or rent, and you think, "Wow, that's cheap. There must be there's a snag." There's definitely a snag.
It's like cars as well.
Cars
If the
too.
Cars too
If
cheap.
you see a great car and it's like, whew, this is about 200,000 Rand less than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Someone. So there's something that's fucking engines out,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, so anyway, the show is on repeat, but it was interesting to see that Restyle My Style because they're doing it so blatantly. Like it's like your wife cheating on you in the
Yeah.
house while you're there, like when
Yeah.
you're in the kitchen. Or something.
That's
It
disgusting.
wasn't me.
That's
It wasn't
disgusting.
me.
Yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
All right. Well, a couple of things we got to get into this morning, and I got some some funny shit to show you because it's Wednesday. We're not going to be
Yeah.
serious. And have you got any plans for this long weekend? Because this isn't the only one. There are about like 3 public holidays that we score on in April.
Yeah, April is
April's
real...
I mean, basically, if you are tired and you hate your job, April is going to be so great for you because you could take, I think it's 7 days altogether, and you get like 3 weeks, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be there's that one point where there's a Monday that's a holiday and there's a Friday. And if you take the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
You get the whole week.
you get like a whole bunch of days there. So people are going to be crooking the system.
I remember corporate days. That's where the people used to get so excited because they'd book out all those days and have a holiday. And I'm like, yo, this is the most exciting thing about working at Carrick Wealth. You get to have a week off every now and again. Bro.
All right. We've got to talk about something else that's also in the news. I don't know. Do you guys know this woman? Her name is Hilaria Baldwin. She's Alec Baldwin's wife. She's a terrible, terrible person because her real name, I must just look this up because it's the most bizarre story in the world, right? She's Hilaria, and for a long time she had everyone thinking that she was Hispanic. She even had the accent going and everything else. But she's not Hispanic at all. She was making a play for the diverse, interesting kind of sexy Hispanic market. Hilaria Baldwin, but the truth is her real name is, her mother's name is Catherine Hayward. You get a more like white name than that. You don't really, right?
Maybe Karen Hayward.
Catherine with a K and a Y.
No. Oh, no.
Catherine, you know that one.
There's one way to tell. Could she dance? That's the one true way. I don't care about the color.
Listen, she's not unattractive.
Okay.
She's 41 years old. She looks pretty damn good. Alec Baldwin's 1,000 years old, right? How old is he? He's
ancient.
Definitely towards the latter end.
He must be. I just got to look at this because he's 66. There we go.
Yeah.
He's not
Should
the youngest.
Be retired, technically.
But, Alec Baldwin, that whole Baldwin family, they're kind of well known. They've been around for so long. He's been on SNL. He's a great actor. People love him. He shoots people on set, kind of thing. Great guy.
He keeps it real. That's one thing we know about. He keeps it real.
And by the way, the charges were dropped on him. Surprise, surprise, because he's a famous actor. You try that in America. I'll try that in America. Nothing will happen except we'll go to jail.
Yeah.
But this guy, nothing. It's all just gone away. So Hilaria Baldwin, as she calls herself, her real name is Hillary something or another. Okay. But she goes by Hilaria because it makes her sound more exotic and interesting.
Yeah.
So here she is. They're at some awards show, and she snaps at him in public. Now, guys, if your wife ever treats you like this, even in private, you must immediately divorce her and leave her because this is such a complete disrespect. This is the way that someone who does not care about you at all, who will claw your eyes out to get to the top, who has no idea of what it is to be a good husband or wife. If someone treats you like I'm going to show you in this clip, run the fuck away. Okay, this is a terrible person. So here she is, snapped on the red carpet and snapping at Alec Baldwin. Take a look.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner. Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
The face of a broken man.
That's the face of a man who knows his soul has been sucked out of him by that.
Yeah,
that's my life.
That's like Ben Affleck with J-Lo.
With J-Lo. Exactly.
Every single moment.
I don't know why. But I've never felt sorry for Alec Baldwin in my life until this clip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
at that
that's
moment,
true.
I go, oh, this poor guy.
That look in the eyes, like, guys.
Now I know why he shot that
isn't
person.
all.
Now I know why he shot that. He shot that person on set because he was so frustrated.
He had to shoot somebody.
Because he's married to this naggy. Imagine the balls on someone saying, no. You're not talking when I'm talking. I'm talking, you're not talking.
And he was saying something positive, like, you're a winner. And she's
He's
like, no, I'm
supporting
not. I'm a
He's
fucking loser,
supporting
so
her.
shut up.
You know,
Good
I
old
do,
Catherine's.
I do wish, you can only imagine what her mother's like. I do wish that all these girl bosses and these feminists and, you know, these ladies who are like ruling the world, girls who ruling the world, girls. All of these girls would just watch that clip a couple of times. And by the way, this might be an interesting test for anyone you're going to date. I'm not the guy to talk to about dating advice. I don't have any insight there at all. But I will say this. If you play this clip for someone and they laugh and they think it's hilarious, you know, girls talk about red flags. That's a red flag. Get the fuck out of there. If someone says, "Oof, that is appalling. How could anyone treat their husband like that?" Then that girl's a keeper.
The worst part is there's nothing you can do about that in that situation, because if he retaliates, even verbally, he's still the bad guy.
Yeah.
No matter how much. So that's why you can only tell the walls, like, fuck this bitch.
Smile and
Through
wave.
his eyes. That's all he could do. And shame, I feel sorry for him, because, that does happen. And then, like.
Yeah. I mean, Tabo Pali says in the comments he's in too deep and there is no prenup possible. Give a C, give a U, give a C, give a K, says Bitcoin Butt. Yeah, he's a cuck. Yeah. I know you were struggling there with the spelling you too.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I thought
I did go to school and that doesn't make sense.
That's how Gareth treats James during the sports on Monday.
We witnessed that, so yeah.
Whipped. She probably beats him. Matthew likes that because he's obviously a simp. He goes, sassy, I like her. Well, you're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome. There are always going to be beta males and worse that are into that
Just
like being,
my type.
You know, it's like those guys who want to lie down and have a woman in high heels stand on their balls.
Oh yeah, and get kicked in. No. That's wow. No.
There are those guys who like that. They're into that. That's the thing. They want to be like whipped and beaten. Dominated. We had a dominatrix
the other way.
Oh, did you?
We had a dominatrix in the studio a while ago. She makes so much money out of humiliating, like really powerful guys who run their own massive corporations, lawyers, doctors, like smart people who should know better. And they get a kick out of this woman who dresses up in leather. And she beats them and she tells them that they're worthless and she spits on them and she makes them clean the floor. She's got one guy who's been like her long-term servant. He pays her to come to her house and clean the house. And he pays her to insult him and treat him like shit. So there are these guys. And I want to say to those guys, you are ruining it for the rest of us. You're spoiling it for us because this is going to be the expectation now.
What's the root of that? What kind of pain are you going through to want that in your life? That's what I don't understand.
Maybe at a formative stage in their life, some woman who was really sexy treated them badly, and then and then they associated that in their heads with that turned them on. Can you imagine?
A hot teacher gave him detention once upon a time. And he's like
a hot teacher said, "You're a bad boy," and the guy was like, shit, I'm getting really turned on right now.
Let me get A's and also get a detention afterwards. That's the kind of
those are the kind of guys who would love Hilaria Baldwin.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought you needed to see that. Congo Chris saying in the comments, if you treat your man like that, you better have beer flavored nipples and a cook with an adjustable circumference. Cutting to the chase. That's
creative.
All right. I hate it when women treat men like that, says Lee. Anyone for that matter, especially in public. If she can do that in public, imagine how she treats him in private. Yeah. Alec could have done something, just walk away from the interview. Nobody even knows if he's not standing there. That's a good point. Funny thing is you can see in her eyes that she thinks she is giving crazy, strong women vibes. Yeah. Yeah,
crazy
she does.
Parts, yeah.
And you know, and there'll be a lot of young women who'll watch that and go, yeah, that's her giving it to the patriarchy. And, you know, a woman is talking. Have you ever had anyone do that before? Like a woman is talking and then you must shut up because she is a woman, or you have these people who go, black woman is talking, and you're like, yeah, that's not hard.
All the years.
By
of
the way, you want to hear a
colonialism have
black
caught
woman
up to this
talking? Just go
moment.
anywhere in South Africa anytime. Show me the one that isn't.
Yeah. We out here.
Jesus. Anyway, I spent a night in a dungeon, says Russell. Dirty. I was mistreated and humiliated, starved. I believe the establishment was called Veerdebrug Police Station. Maybe that's why they get turned on by it. I don't know. Alec married a piranha that wears lipstick, says Uncle Duncan's shack. Very good. I love these nicknames. Masego to Flower says she travels the world dominatrixing. Yeah. That woman that we had in does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are people, dude, we think, it's amazing to me. Like, you think you're a little bit fucked up because you ate a packet of chips on your own yesterday and you had the whole thing and you thought, oh, I'm so fat. And, you watched some series and you binged on like 5 episodes and, I shouldn't have stayed up until 4 a.m. because I have to be up early tomorrow. But please believe me, like, whatever crazy shit you're up to, there is someone out there who's doing bizarre stuff.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Probably illegal in many cases. But I honestly don't understand what it is that gets some people going. I'm so glad I just have fairly vanilla like taste. I thought about it the other day. It's like, imagine if you're born and you grow up and you develop some kind of kink, like even the shoe guys,
the feet guys,
right? So we were talking about this the other day on the show. Because we've got Michaela in the office who started something called Only Feet. Have you heard of this?
Oh, okay.
And she's made, we didn't give out the handle that she's using on this show because there are a lot of perverts in our audience who would immediately like try and hit on it.
I want that handle.
But she's making okay money and nothing porno or sexual or anything. It's just like taking pictures of her feet, uploading them. And then there are guys who are paying her money to look at pictures of her feet.
Okay, first and foremost, I don't think I'd pay, but I'm a semi-feet guy, so I'm a semi-feet guy. I understand. Like they must just be done properly, I don't want a woman with like Sasquatch feet.
So if her second toe is longer than her big toe,
they cross
apparently
they cross over like that.
Apparently, the second toe being longer than the big one is a good sign. Like
Really?
they're very sexual and stuff. You see, I've done some research.
You're deep into this.
I am.
So how do you think it happened for you? Because it's just there are so many of these things that people are into, and they develop these. It must come from when you were young.
Maybe, but apparently there's a part of the brain that associates feet with a penis, and that's why there's that relation to sexuality.
Why are you gay?
No, I mean I like my own penis, so that's why I like their toes, bro. No, but anyway, that's not the point. What I'm saying is that I know somebody who actually got their car from doing this. They sold their feet online and eventually bought a car. Yeah. But the guys would ask them to do weird shit. So she said one time the worst thing she had to do was stick her feet in peanut butter and pour marshmallows over them. That's all the guy wanted to see, and he gave her like 30K.
You know how hard we were talking about how hard it is to run a business, but you know how hard it is to earn money in the world at the moment. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Every rand is it's a struggle to get that money. And you think, I know what I'll do with this hard-earned money. Pay some woman in another country to put her feet in peanut butter and marshmallows. Because that's what let me tell you, if you're born as a beautiful woman in this world, you don't ever have to work a day in your life.
Right. I saw a hot hobo the other day, and there was a female. I was like,
saw
bro,
a hot hobo?
A hot hobo, a female hobo who was
lady.
good looking, a bag lady.
You call them in America, they call them bag ladies because they carry around like a big rubbish bag or a shopping bag, and they put all their stuff in there, but they're homeless.
Yeah.
They call them bag ladies. So if you say hobo, people immediately think it's a guy who like stinks.
Yeah.
Feces and wears like 8 jackets even in the heat and has like matted beardy hair all over. But if you say bag lady, then it's just the woman version of that.
Okay, so it was a bag lady,
Describe her.
but a pretty bag lady. Okay, so she was like, she had a dark skin tone.
Everybody, well done for waking up this morning. This is what you came for. Is Mark's foot thing was bad enough, but now he's about to tell you about how he got turned on by a bag lady.
Like, yeah.
Wait, I wasn't turned on. She was dirty. Maybe if she showered, it would be a different situation. But I saw potential, Gareth. That's what I'm saying.
It's amazing that you could see through the dirt.
Yeah,
He was ready to pretty lady her.
Yeah, you were ready to do a pretty woman on it.
yeah. Like I've got a shower. Yeah. You can just come through. We'll get you into business. Like we know Kevin Keuvelaar's pubs. You can be a shooter go even.
Was she in good shape?
Yeah, she was relatively like. I'd say she probably weighed like
you could see that.
No, she probably weighed like 65 kgs, and she was quite slender. She was quite tall. She had long brunette hair, except it was dirty. Her skin was like, I'd say it almost like colored-ish. Like
colored-ish.
Almost colored. Like I don't know how to explain, but a very light colored or very, 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 very dirty white.
Don't you wonder what the story is? How she ended up?
White. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Because of course, every colored girl who's watching and listening to us now is like, "Oh, so you're just saying like we're the dirty whites?"
No.
Yeah.
Please don't put words in my mouth. I don't want to get a steel comb in my life, please. I'm saying she was just. I'm not sure about the race just because of the tone of her skin was confusing. But you could see through all of that. Like if you showered and had a nice meal, you'd be able to get somebody to pay you to do dominatrix on them. That's what I'm saying.
Do you wonder? Because now I would be fascinated to know the story of how she ended up on the street.
My first guess is drugs.
Drugs, eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's this interesting show that they've got in America where they take, you talk about Renovation. And what made me think of this is the whole homeless thing and how people end up on the street. And you said drugs. So what they do is they take Americans who are down and out, living on the street. They have no money. They beg for food and all the rest of it. And they live like under a blanket, under a bridge or whatever. Then they take these people and they put them into a humble but solid house. Like it's an apartment or whatever. So, maybe it's between 25 and 50 square meters. So it's nothing huge. Mm-hmm. But they put these people in there and almost to a person. I mean, maybe 1 out of 1,000 of them ends up actually staying there and looking after it and like paying their accounts, eventually getting a job, improving themselves. Every other one of those people, 999 out of 1,000, they fuck the place up completely.
Mm.
They piss in the corner of the room. They set fire to the kitchen. They burn holes in the floor. It's just a disaster.
Yeah.
And they almost always move out within not even weeks, days.
That's so bizarre.
And they figured out that homelessness, the solution to homelessness, and I want anyone who feels like they're a do-gooder to listen very carefully to this, because you're doing yourself and these people no favors. They don't want a house. The solution to homelessness is not giving people houses. And we're discovering more and more that these people who are on the street and are homeless, most of the time, they're actually choosing that because it gives them the freedom to do the drugs they want to do.
Mm.
They can't do the drugs in an apartment building because there's someone who looks after the building. If they do the drugs, they're going to break shit, destroy stuff. Neighbors going to complain, whatever's going to happen. They can't behave themselves. So these people are homeless, not because they don't have a house, but because they are a disaster of a human being. They've got almost always a drug problem, which is why you're right.
Mm.
And this is to your point earlier about this chick you saw, who you haven't finished telling us about because you described her.
Well, I mean, the robot went green. So I had to go home. I have a home to go to.
But for a minute there, did you think, I want to rescue this girl?
Yeah. There was a part of me. I was like, bro, just roll with me for 2 days, bro.
Mark falls in love pretty easily, man.
That's half the problem. But anyway, to this hobo thing, I think it's the same thing as poor people who win the lotto. They just gonna screw it up because they're not used to having that kind of money, or they don't know how to treat that kind of money. They always
lose their money.
Yeah.
Almost inevitably. And again, this is why so many people who haven't done the hard work themselves of taking the risk, getting out there, hustling, making every cent count, struggling, getting by on, a tiny ball thin line between poverty and success.
Yeah.
Those are the only people who get to hold on to their money.
Yeah.
The people
100%.
who it comes too easy to them, or they just never understand how it works. You can't actually fast track those people. There's no NGO in the world who's shown a solid success rate of getting people financially rehabilitated.
That's a hard one.
You can't make money go uphill.
Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned the lottery winners. Again, this is the most amazing statistic. And they even have those shows where they, I blew it or whatever. They show you they tell you the stories of these people, and it's not hard to do. You would think, you've been in TV shows, you would think that if any of us were producing a show about people who have blown their money, it would be hard to find those stories. But if you go to the lottery and you just follow up on anyone in any country, it's not just the South African thing.
Yeah.
Any country in the world where some loser has ended up lucking out and winning 100 million rand. 100 million rand is a lot of money, right? That would solve, between, I'm sure, the three of us, we could solve all our problems and some.
Yeah.
You'd solve a lot of our friends and families' problems, and we'd put enough aside to never have to work again. Not that you'd stop working, because you need to have something to do, but we would have a plan. Now, these people do not. These lotto winners, it is a death sentence to give them the winnings from their lotto. That's why they often now will have a psychologist and they have a financial advisor. Usually those people are on the take as well, by the way. But they give
all psychologists are thieves, bro.
Yeah, they give these
psychologist.
people this 100 million rand, and within a couple of months, gone.
Yeah.
They're back where they started. And you think, wow, what does that tell you about how money works?
Apparently, hobos also, or bag ladies too. Apparently, I'm not a discriminator.
No,
apparently,
in fact, you're turned on by them.
Exactly. Don't discriminate, guys. But anyway, apparently they actually prefer that lifestyle because it's easier than having to get a job and paying taxes and getting your shit together is too difficult. So if you're gonna I always wondered to myself how much a hobo makes a day at a good robot. It's like how much do you make on Winnie Madigizela at that corner with the N1? I wonder
how much if the robots are working.
If they're not, you can cash it real time, because then you can also do a job there and be the traffic controller.
Well, what we're going to do after the show, a very good suggestion from Michael John in the comments. We're going to send James and Flex with you, and they're going to drive to where that bag lady was, and you're going to find her and bring her in on the show, because now we're all involved.
She can start her only feet. I don't know how her feet look. See, this is why I care about feet. Her feet are probably a disaster.
Stop being a pervert. We just want to get her in here to hear her story for starters. But okay, you can take her home afterwards.
Okay. I'll take the hit, guys. I'll do it for humanity's sake.
Here's Lee. She says quite rightly, there's a bag lady that came up to me yesterday, very well spoken. She could speak French as well.
What?
Asked for money. I said I only had an apple and a sandwich. She replied, I know they say beggars can't be choosers, but I'm a beggar and I'm choosing to say no. So I think that's also part of it too, is that they opting out of the system.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, and there was some comment earlier that most of them are not drug addicts. I don't think that's true. I think most of them are. There are probably one or two who are not. But these people are actually saying, I don't want to be a part of society. I'm opting out. I want to get high. I want to not worry about tomorrow. I don't want any responsibilities. I'm just a derelict. I don't want anything to do with what you guys think is good for me.
Yeah.
And frankly, if that's what they really believe, even if they can't articulate it, probably because this is if that's what they really want, then you can't help them. And it's amazing to me. There are stories about like rich families, got tons of money, and they live in beautiful houses, and they grew up very well with all the resources you could wish for, went to good schools and all the stuff that you would think if you were a parent, if you gave my kid, they'll never end up on the street if I give them these things. Some of those families have got like an uncle or a brother or a cousin who's a homeless person.
Yeah, it's like the Jesse Pinkman story on Breaking
Yeah,
Bad. His
right.
parents were super rich and he tried to go back, and no matter how much they gave him, he always fucked it up. I
Yeah.
think that's a common story, actually.
And you know, if tick is your thing,
Your mom's love ain't gonna beat that.
that's a lot more dangerous than having a foot fetish is being on tick.
Tick is way better than your mom's mac and cheese. That's why.
Damn
Get
right.
off on it easily, bro.
Damn right. Okay, so let's see here. Someone asked why is it that this show is hard to find on YouTube? Now, I have a suspicion that because when we started doing the show on YouTube, I was doing, and that was around COVID, obviously. I was one of the people who was saying this is bullshit, and we shouldn't be doing this. And I have a feeling that they put some kind of a shadow ban on this show.
You think so?
I'm telling you now.
Wow.
I think it's possible.
I can't prove it, and I'm never going to get hold of anyone at YouTube who's going to say that that's what's happened. But I have a feeling, because honestly, I've seen our numbers go through the roof on some days, and I don't really watch the numbers because otherwise you get obsessed with them.
Yeah.
I used to. This is why with radio ratings, when I was doing the radio stuff, they would only do the ratings, I think, twice a year, and then I would ask them to tell me at the end of the year. I didn't want to know.
Okay.
Like if we were winning or losing, just tell me at the end of the year, because otherwise you get obsessed. I'm like one of those people who will track their, you know, you get
what happened on Wednesday was
you get
different
these
to
people
Monday.
who put on these wearables, and then they'll always watching their heart rate. And,
Yeah.
what is my body fat percentage? And like that's very dangerous. If you're tracking yourself to that degree, you will actually end up a complete nutcase in a mental hospital.
Yeah.
So I think that we've got some sort of a long. They've never switched it off since COVID, because I was saying unpopular counter narrative.
Exactly.
People shouldn't listen to the experts stuff, and it turns out, lo and behold, I was right.
Imagine thinking for yourself being the right way to go.
Oh my god!
How crazy
imagine
is that?
By the way, do you think they'd ever get away with that shit again?
No, hell no. They barely got away with it that time. Like, I was so rebellious as well. I even remember one time going to get a pie with my friend because I just wanted to break the rule. Like, nobody could tell me what to do. We went and luckily not a police guard stopped us, but a security guard.
Oh yeah, didn't they get full of themselves?
Yo, bro. And security guards in this country already think they're the shit, bro. Honestly.
They got so full of themselves around COVID time. Anyway.
It's like, relax. You don't even have a gun, bro.
Lee says it is difficult to find the show, but you just have to keep typing Gareth Cliff Live or Gareth Cliff Show. GCS or Real Network doesn't work. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's some kind of a search thing that they've ticked some purple-haired leftist psychopath back in the days ticked some boxes because she was working at, I assume it's a she, I don't know.
Yeah.
She was working at Google or YouTube or Alphabet or whatever, and they ticked it, and they've just never switched them off. I'm telling you now. I can't prove it, but I have a feeling. No, Gareth, it's because the channel is no longer called Cliff Central. Nobody can remember the new name. Well,
that was my next
maybe
guess. That was my next guess. Is that
calm
the
down?
name
You're
has
acting
changed.
like a scurity during COVID. If you subscribe and turn on notifications, the show will come to you. Well, there's the solution. So, who was it who said they were struggling because they're confused? Michael John. He's like the slow adult in our audience. Just like and subscribe, and your life will get better. Okay, there we go. Easiest thing to do. By the way, very, very funny show that you've got to watch this week from Warris and PH. They had Tallass Mo.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Tallass is one of my favorite people, and everyone on that show. There's the three of them. All three of them were on fire.
Oh
dude.
really?
It was just so good.
Okay,
So if you
cool.
haven't watched that show already, I can only recommend it. It's going to make you smile and laugh, and
I'll go watch it. I saw the
hilarious.
notification.
it's so good,
Because,
dude.
yeah, I'm also subscribed to the
great
show,
show.
so we must go watch Tallass Mo. We did a show actually at his venue, Higher Ground Boulevard in Illovo.
Oh, yeah?
It's actually a beautiful, beautiful venue. Yeah, we had lots of fun. I was a bit trashed, so it wasn't my best show. But Kevin came with me actually afterwards, and they asked her to save the day because there was a lot of open mic comedians. So it wasn't like great comedy, if you ask me. But then Kevin obviously is a magician, but there are comedic elements, and they asked him to come on.
What kind of magician stuff do you do? I haven't even asked you.
So the main show, the 28th and 29th, is going to be illusions. So massive stage illusion, going to levitate someone that I hypnotize. Kind of a spin on the cutting the person in half as well. I'll be doing.
You should cut that hobo chick in half. You'd probably be doing her a favor.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get her a free ticket to the show, bro. It'll change her life forever.
Mark, I'm going to have to get her showered and changed for you, chap.
So Propaganda says Tallass is under fire for not paying his comedians.
Oh, damn.
Listen, Tallass he went through a very tough time. I can't remember if it was the wife or it was something happened. And I remember he had a really tough time for a little while.
Yeah.
So maybe he's still catching up on payments. All right. Give the guy a chance. Mapelo says, even on Instagram, I see the show post days later or 10 plus hours later if I'm lucky. On YouTube, I have to search for it, but I'll get a show once from a month ago. I'm telling you, there's something going on here. They're not being honest with us. James, if I hear about potholes and rain in the interval, I'm going to start watching the Meghan Markle podcast instead. Oh, okay. So we've got someone called Caroline in the office. Big Meghan Markle fan.
Okay.
Because she said to me the other day, I think it's very mean what you say about, she doesn't sound like this, but I like Meghan. It's very mean what you said about Meghan Markle. And she's not so bad. So I said, all right. I haven't watched the whole show. You watch the show. You're a fan of hers. So she goes off this week and she watches it and she comes back to report to me yesterday. And she told me yesterday that she now agrees that Meghan Markle, and she used the C word, she said she's a total.
What's the show about? I haven't even heard about it.
It's so bad.
Oh, okay.
I played a clip of it the other day where she basically reprimands her friend, like Hilaria Baldwin reprimands Alec. Because her friend calls her Meghan Markle in the show, which was her name. That was the name that we knew her from Suits when we still thought she was nice.
When we thought she was cool.
Yeah, and she's like, it's Sussex now.
Okay.
Because her and her husband are Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and now she thinks she's a big deal. And her friend Mindy something or another, who's also an actress apparently, made the mistake of calling her that. You know, it's like those people who they got a PhD, but they insist on being called doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I know that I've got friends who've got PhDs. They've worked really hard. You study, you get your degree. You got to do a lot of research. Got to hand in a doctoral thesis. It's hard work. I get it. But you are not a doctor. Okay. The only people who should put doctor in front of their names are medical doctors, because do you know why? Because if something terrible happens, like on a plane or in a secluded, faraway place, people always go, is there a doctor in the room? Now, if you've studied education and you've got a PhD in history, no one's asking for you in an emergency. Am I right?
Yeah,
no one's going, we really need that PhD in anthropology right now because this guy's having a coronary thrombosis.
Is anybody a master at Pythagoras?
Yeah, exactly. The only reason that anyone should ever put doctor in front of their name is if they're a medical doctor. Otherwise, that's great. But you can list the titles behind your name. Put it in front. It's like, this is a serious thing.
Yeah. Or there needs to be some sort of asterisk that lets us know that it's a theoretical doctor.
Bullshit.
Like doctor with an asterisk. That's how we know it's just the theory. It's not practical.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't Meghan Markle from Four Ways?
Sounds like it, bro.
Markle.
Oh, no. Sorry, I read that wrong. Isn't Markle from Four Ways?
Markle.
So you know how if you meet a guy from Four Ways, how's it a Markle? Like?
Markle, bro. It's like Maarch.
Exclusive, brother.
It's like people who say I'm from, or if you're going to Lion's Head, it's not Lion's Head, it's Lion's Head, bro. It's Larns.
I met someone the other day from Four Ways, and they said, "Yo, I went out last night and I got into a fart."
The fart.
Like you got into a fart? How does that happen? You walk straight into
a fart, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like, really, that's disgusting.
You didn't smell it ahead of time.
It reminds me of that game, Buttfighter.
Oh, do you remember Buttfighter?
Yeah, I know the guy, Gord Laws.
Oh, really?
He started that whole thing. By the way, they made an actual game.
Yeah.
Like an arcade game out of it.
Yeah.
It was tremendous.
No, I loved
and
Wood
all
Fighter,
credit
and
to
it was so accurate.
No, Gord is such a clever guy. He
Yeah,
really
I
is.
miss him. What's up with him?
He's in
Haven't seen
Cape
him.
Town.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what happens to people when they go to Cape Town?
They
They get a lot of
vanish.
heat for this. No, they don't vanish. They become Cape Townian. Nothing's in a hurry. We don't have to rush that. Like,
Yeah, we've got the beach.
I don't know. I mean, I'm being unfair to everyone in Cape Town because it's not true for everybody, and it's probably not even true for Gord. But Cape Town, I don't know what it does to people. It definitely changes them. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad.
My only theory is because whenever I go to Cape Town, I do get that urge to stay and then never even try to run a business, never even try to do anything, and just run and go to the beach and basically become a bag lady.
Maybe if you rescue the bag lady, a bag lady will rescue you.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be together forever.
James, you're very talkative today, so you must have washed your car yesterday. Are you getting involved in the comments there? All right. And then somebody says, Gareth, Dokotela here. We don't have a good Samaritan law in South Africa. If a doctor touches a patient in an emergency, we can get into huge cuck. This is actually a big deal.
What?
Yes. So you know how if you're on a plane and someone passes out or they've got something stuck in their throat or whatever, people go, is there a doctor?
Yeah.
So there's something called the Good Samaritan law. And I stand to be corrected here, and maybe Super Jacob Zuma can help me out on this one. But if you're a doctor and you get involved, especially in America, that you could get litigated against if it goes badly.
Yeah.
So let's say, someone is choking on something and you're a doctor and you go, I'm a doctor, and you get involved and you help them, but they end up suffocating anyway, through no fault of yours as the doctor. They'll still try to sue you because as a medical practitioner, there's a higher level of responsibility expected from you. And they therefore will charge you with malpractice, or that you didn't do enough, or you could have done more. Whatever. I don't know how it works.
So with that, you actually just have to ask for permission. So once they're unconscious, you say, I'm here to help you. I'm a qualified first aid practitioner. Do you give me consent? If they don't respond, you can still go ahead with what
How
you
are they
need
going
to
to
help
respond
with.
if they're unconscious?
That's exactly it. So, but as
What a
long as you
stupid law.
I know. It was
if you hear me, wake up.
I want you to listen to what you just said.
No, I'm well aware. It was
That
in a
makes
first
no
aid course.
sense.
So you've just got to tell
Are
them.
you a first aid guy?
Yeah, or I did it in scuba diving. So
Okay.
So you just have to say it. As long as you said it, it doesn't matter if they heard it or not.
yeah, because you
Okay.
have asked the question. You have said they
I
can refuse
declare
that. Which
I
they can't.
hereby declare that I am a doctor of
Resuscitation.
lesbian dance theory, and I would like to, while you are unconscious, rescue you from being unconscious forever. No, I don't know.
My sister's listening, and she's a doctor, so she's going to correct me
All
at some point.
All right.
Yeah, that's insane. man.
What are you saying about Dr. Dre? Says LJ.
No, Dr. Dre gets a pass. Dr. Dre
And
gets a
Dr.
pass.
Kumalo?
No.
No. Okay, so it's very capricious, this decision.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. When all the traffic lights work and you're not changing your tires from potholes, you don't need to rush as much. That's why Cape Town is slower, says Carl. Okay.
Oh, boo-hoo, man. All these Cape Town guys are so much better than the rest of the country. Say, come to Joburg, make some money. No, man, we always get this shit from Cape Townians because it's the DA. It runs so much better than the rest of the country. Fine, then. Whatever. Just leave us out of it. Go make your own country then. I'm so over it.
What, in Cape Town?
No, Cape Townians thinking they're better than the rest of us because the DA runs the city. Yeah, maybe it is better, but I don't care too much about it.
We are like those guys who want their balls stepped on.
We like it rough here, okay?
we like the potholes. We like the traffic lights
it's a
not
sense
working.
of adventure.
Yeah, we like our city to be the water pouring out everywhere, sewage flowing down the street. We like that because we want to suffer,
Because Joburgs are real.
Yeah.
Joburg
people, we're like, if we don't struggle and suffer,
then
we're
you didn't do
basically
it.
what do they call them? Masochists.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We're masochists.
Exactly.
So all right, Cape Town, you'll get some some compliments this morning. Apparently, as a first aider, you have the responsibility to act in such cases and announce. But who are you announcing it to? What, to everyone else? Because that person might not be. And what are they going to say? No.
Yeah,
Thank God.
exactly.
If you're choking, again, it's the only example I can think of at the moment. But I mean, let's say you've been stabbed. Are you going to go? No.
No, I'm not touching that.
Are you going to wait for the stupid fucking medical professional who now needs to go through a recitation like they're an actor on a stage? I am hereby declaring that I am willing to save you, but you need to give me a proper sign of consent. You've wasted a minute where you could have been plugging the hole that some assholes just stabbed through my heart. Come on.
Nah, I understand.
Madness.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how it works. But apparently Durban Dope says here, I got charged with assault for helping a policeman arrest someone once.
What?
Look, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if I'm driving down the road and someone I don't know is involved in an accident or there's some body lying there or what, that is none of my business.
I agree. Don't get involved in fights that aren't your own, and that too. Just don't get involved. It has nothing to do with you. Mind your business.
These people who rubberneck whenever there's an accident or there's a police light somewhere, they slow down and they go past like this. Watch, I'm going to do it. In the shade.
Something's happening.
And they go super slow. And then everyone behind them, I mean, like, I've got to get to a meeting.
Yeah.
Whatever happened there, it's in the past.
Yeah.
We got to move on. This is none of your business. Stay away from shit that's none of your business. No one in the world expected you, Denise from Four Ways, to be there to rescue this guy. There's a body on the side of the road. Just drive past the body.
Go.
You're making
Focus
more problems
on your own shit, right?
Yeah, it's like when I actually went to the show where we actually became friends. I was coming from set in Pretoria and we were on our way, and I was kind of running late, and there was an accident and a dead body in the road, and everybody was slowing down. I was like, "Hey guys, let's just move this guy. The rest of us have work to do,
Get the
bro.
fuck on with it.
It's already over for him."
I know it's horrible for whoever's involved, but I don't know you.
Yeah, just another obstacle in my way.
I'm not going to get involved. Am I horrible to do that? Flex, James, be a temperature check on me here. Is this a terrible thing? Are we terrible people?
I don't know. I'm
Flex,
okay with
I know, Flex, you don't give a shit. You would just drive right past. Huh? Yeah. He might make it. But
how are you making it worse?
Well, he said he might grab the wrong pipe and the person might die.
Wait, what?
I don't understand that either, but we'll just leave it. I don't want to get him into trouble with the authorities.
Let's leave the pipes alone.
They've been looking for a criminal all-round Joburg who's stealing people's wrong pipes.
Bro.
Okay, so Uncle Duncan's Shack says, just speak to the person's lawyer before administering treatment. It's one way or another, then it gets sorted. Now, okay.
Now I have to go through this guy's phone.
This is why, again, don't get involved. Okay, someone says a pregnant woman, I'm going to give birth on the plane. If you're a doctor, you just go
off duty today. If he dies.
Are you a doctor? Oh, no.
He dies.
I just do Excel spreadsheets. I don't know anything about that. First aid is sharp. They don't have that MP number. If you have an MP number, you could get sued. Medical practitioner number. So if you stop next to the road, that patient becomes your responsibility. Okay, don't then.
Yeah.
Don't. You know what? Good Samaritan. What happened to the good? Let's just try and remind ourselves of this Bible story. The Good Samaritan is the person who helped that dude on the side of the road. And then Jesus said that was a good thing for him to do or whatever. Yeah, obviously, Jesus would not say that to me because I would drive right past.
Yeah, I don't remember the story clearly, but I think there were 3 different people who walked past, and one person actually helped. The other 2, one ignored him. The other one said something else. I mean,
I love the scripture, guys.
Yeah. Shows you how much I read the Bible. Like,
you would have made a terrible priest, by the way. No one is coming to your church.
Yeah, they're not.
It's derived from the biblical parable of the Good Samaritan in Luke 10:29-37, where a Samaritan, despite social prejudice, helps a wounded man. because he was left for dead on the road. This is exactly what we're talking about. Okay,
Bro.
Between Jerusalem and Jericho, they're very particular about where on the road he was left.
Okay.
A priest and a Levite, that's the priestly sort of line in Judea, but a Samaritan who was traditionally viewed as an enemy stops to help, tending to the man's wounds and arranging for his care. All right, you're welcome. If you want to be that guy, then that's terrific. I mean, we need people like that in the world. Good Samaritans.
Sounds like a good asshole, actually, because he wasn't supposed to be good. That's why they even gave him that name. It's he's one of the good assholes.
Samaritan.
He's a good Samaritan.
That's like when, for example, someone says, "Yeah, I've got a friend, and he happens to be black." Like, so what do you say?
That's exactly
normally
it.
you don't like black people, but this friend of yours, he's the exception to the rule.
This one speaks very well.
By the way, everyone, Mark is my friend, so
that's why Mark brought you here. He's like, he just wants us to know that he's got white friends as well.
Mama, I made it.
That's great.
I did scuba diving the other day, bro. I'm turning white as shit, bro.
Scuba diving.
Like, for real.
I've never even done that. You are whiter than me.
Bro, I am. I'm telling you right now, it's happening.
How did you get into that?
With this guy, bro. This guy is trying to change me. No, but it was really cool because I've always been interested in it because I think the sea world, there's so much happening there that we just don't know and understand.
We're not meant to be there. We evolved out of that stuff millions of years ago. What are you doing?
What are you doing
going under the sea and poking around in places you shouldn't be? There are things there that hate you.
Yeah.
Right? They sting you. They bite you. There's this poisonous fish that someone told me about the other day.
Yeah.
That apparently it's got these spines. I don't know if it's called a lionfish or something. It is? Okay. Yeah. My memory's better than I thought this morning. This thing, if it stings you, you are fucked. Finished. You're dead. And all it has to do is like,
I saw a video of Kevin swimming past a shark, and I'm like, I want to do that one day.
Why?
That's literally what my black friend said. She was like, bro,
we had a guy on the show.
Your grandmother would be so disappointed in you.
We had a guy on the show the other day who has half a leg. He's got the other one's fine, but this leg ends here on the thigh. It was eaten off by a shark.
What?
And you go,
but he was on the surface making splashes, man.
Oh, please. You people are causing shit there for us that we don't need. For millions of years, the sharks and humans have had this tacit understanding. We won't come into your territory. You don't come onto the land and eat us here.
Yeah.
Sharks are like, cool, we'll stay in the water. You stay on the land. Don't come in the water. We won't come onto the land. We agreed. That's why they've never evolved the legs. They were like, we've got an arrangement. We're not going to.
We signed the contract.
They are honoring the contract. You
Legally
come into
binding.
their world and you start fucking around and with your big goggles.
Taking pictures and stuff.
Taking pictures and, isn't it beautiful? See what's in this cave. What are you doing? It's none of your business. Stay out of there. You are ruining it for the rest of us. Sometimes the rest of us just want to go for a swim. We only go this deep in. We go like maybe 20 meters into the water. Okay. Yeah. Maybe if you're a little more adventurous, you want to catch those breakers. That's it. That's the arrangement. Don't go further in, under deep with the oxygen tanks.
It's like, now these guys can breathe here too. Fuck that. No. We're gonna go bite them.
All those animals have spent millions of years evolving. They don't have to be breathing air.
Yeah.
And then we come in there with our tanks and our oxygen. Hello, little fishy. They're like, get the hell out of my world. You're not meant to be here.
They very much look at you that way.
It is the opposite. They do. They hate you. Show me an animal under the water that absolutely loves you. Unless they retarded.
At least they stay away from you. They see the bubbles and they're like, that's a problem. We'll leave you alone.
Right. They want nothing to do with us. So why are you bothering them? You guys are like, you're like a guy who's just been let out of prison and you can't be around women.
I see it more like tourists in France. All the French people hate you for being there.
Because you go there and you look at them weird.
And you say croissant instead of croissant.
They want nothing to do with you. All right, so here we go. A couple of comments on this. In Fishhook and False Bay, we have the puffer fish washing on shore We didn't have those species before. Someone must have done cuck to introduce them here. Kevin? But in our cuck, the water's killing them. Listen,
speak to your
Yonder,
scuba boys. What's happening?
We shouldn't be... Just please stop this nonsense,
stop
okay?
this scuba nonsense.
It's nonsense. I don't know which is worse, going into those tiny little caves or free solo climbing. Do things on land. We're meant for land. Okay, we can walk, we can breathe. This is where we're meant to be.
No, Gareth, me and my people have been running for too long. It's time to swim. We can do it, guys. Believe in yourself. Swim.
God.
Swim. You can swim, bro. Believe.
Yaku wants to correct us just before we take a break here. I can't believe we've done an hour.
Yeah.
Yaku says the Good Samaritan is still remembered 2,000 years on, so influencers should look into helping folks to immortalize their vacuous social media accounts. Baby steps here. The Good Samaritan and an influencer are like miles apart, right? This Good Samaritan got involved, addressed the wounds, helped this person, saved them from probable death. A social media influencer can hardly get their life together.
Is that still a real thing?
It's somehow.
Like honestly, like why would companies still pay somebody to do that? Because
Mark, do you know that in America, 70% of the women in America under the age of 30, that's the job they want. That's the job they want. They are burning with desire for a job as a social media influencer. So you and I are sitting here thinking it doesn't exist anymore as a job. There's still stupid women in America who want that to be their main occupation.
I don't understand because as soon as I see like an influencer trying to shove PS chocolate down my throat, that's when I'm never going to buy it again. For real. Like I used to like PS until I saw this influencer advertising it like it was gold. I was like, nah, this is a second chomp.
So you're not into the Mr. Beast chocolates?
No. Oh,
yeah, that's
Beast
thing,
has a chocolate?
Yeah. He makes all kinds of shit. He makes like energy drinks.
I won't even drink Prime because it was hyped up via social media.
Oh, by the way, so I mentioned on the show a while ago that I bought a vape at New Year, and then from time to time I've had them because it's something to do with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, a mate of mine gave me one of those Ignite ones that are. Yeah. Who's that guy?
Dan
Bilzerian. This thing is disgusting. It tastes like fucking ass. It's called, and what was the flavor, James? Raspberry orange something. Like the worst combination of stuff. I took one puff of this and I thought, that is going to give me 100% chance of cancer. And it tastes disgusting. The whole point with a vape is that it smells nice for the other people around you, even if they're not vaping or smoking or whatever. When a smoker, I grew up with parents who both smoke. They always like the cigarette smoke is everywhere. Smell it on your clothes. It's revolting. A vape, that's not a horrible smell. But this thing, raspberry fucking orange. Who combined those? Reminds me of those orange cream chocolates.
Orange cream chocolate.
No. You get the different like chocolate things.
Oh yes, that orange cream one. Yeah.
No one wants the orange cream.
That's true.
No one's ever gone. Phew.
This one.
That's the one I want, the orange cream. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back in a moment or two. We got Mark, we've got me, and we've got what's your name again?
Kevin.
Great.
He's new to the party. He's new to the club.
That's all good.
An old school Dr. Kumal on this. Youpie, yo!
Lerato Moloi made headlines when she addressed rape allegations against South African comedian and TV personality Mongezi Mahlangu.
Never ever been on the tabloid. Mo cheating on his wife.
I went delusional when Mom and I separated.
Tallass Mo has been acquitted.
Mo has taken the comedy industry by storm. Rest assured that his performance will leave you in stitches. Flip, 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 flip.
If I didn't stop, I'd be dead in 6 months. I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for 12 years. I drank from the age of 9 till I was 36. because I believe genuinely that this life is a gift and that I'm here for a purpose.
We are back. We are live. It is the 19th of March already, and a short week this week. Friday is Human Rights Day, so you get the day off. All of us get the day off. You get the day off. You get the day off. Everybody gets the day off. It's going to be lovely. Okay, so two quick things I want to just show you. First of all, a while ago we had Darren Scott on the show. He has had, from a health point of view, like just the most horrible couple of months. I don't know Darren as well as a lot of other people do, but he's always been very nice to me. I've always enjoyed talking to him. They're doing a little fundraiser. Put that up on the screen so everybody can see it quickly. They're doing a Just Plain party for him on the 5th of April. It's there at that Prison Break Market.
Oh, I see that.
So if you want to come along, I mean, it'll be amazing, and you can get your tickets on Quicket. Yeah, Quicket. I'll be there. See, Fresh is going to pitch up. See some of the other guys. Alex, what's his name again? What? Alex J.
Oh.
I actually forgot. Shame. Don't ever tell him that. ENF, a couple others. I was speaking to Sasha Martinengo the other day. He'll be there too. So yeah, it'll be, and it's all for a great cause. I mean, Darren's just a solid guy, and you know,
what's wrong with him?
A cancer.
Oh, shit.
It's always the cancer, man.
Damn, shame. Okay.
And he is like a cockroach because he just survives fucking anything.
Oh, really?
And I love Darren to pieces. But I mean, it is amazing to me that he's even lived as long as he has, because he's made of steel wool. And like the guy, he used to hit me with like suitcases, you know, like the Jack Daniels and passion fruit, right? And he could handle. That man could drink. So I'm surprised he's even survived to this age, but he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, a lot of his friends, and there are lots of people in this country who love him. Yeah. They want to help him to keep on keeping on. So
I see.
It's a nice cause.
And how do you feel about your DJing? Because I know you kind of.
I'm not going to DJ. Are you insane?
Oh, what do you do? Are you just like
oh no, please. I'll get up on stage with a microphone, talk some shit. And,
okay. Get back into it, Gareth.
Me, DJ.
Yeah, one of the best parties of my life
joking?
Was when you were a DJ. It was my first year at Rhodes University, and it was like our opening party for the year. And you said something that
was that on that field?
Yeah.
Huge. That
Jack Parrow was
like
there
8,000 people there.
Yeah, it was a crazy party. You say something that stuck out with me for the rest of my life, because I've obviously come out of high school. You don't really know what the real world is like. And it was boarding school as well. So it was very isolated. And this was the first like big varsity party ever. And you're like, and we're all going crazy. We're having a good time. You're just about to bring on Jack Parrow. It's like, remember, you guys are at the pinnacle of the future. Don't let anybody tell you what to think, what to do. Do what you feel is right. Yeah,
I started giving you a philosophy lesson.
You were, like,
and you want me to DJ?
Well, I ended up majoring in philosophy, so it obviously had an influence.
I'm glad I did that. I don't remember half these things, but I know in my life when someone says something at the right time.
Yeah, it was just like perfect timing.
You taking it. I mean, listen, I'm thrilled to hear that, because I actually, I don't know. I thought I was just there to play music and help people get drunk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you did that too.
But it is kind of true that when you're at that impressionable age, you're so worried about what other people think of you. And you're so scared of being wrong. And you realize very soon after then that shit doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, yeah. And I was like, that was the first moment it clicked for me. I was like, oh shit, I'm a grown up now.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
You never come to any of my
I've seen you when I was around 18 in a club. I think it was like Manhattan's or something like that.
Jesus.
You had something going, guys.
I even came and showed you magic. But,
really?
Yeah.
Did I chase you away until
it wasn't your
never
thing.
come back? It's so it's funny, Kevin, because I'm not really into this mentalism stuff or the we had a magician on the other day, and
Brendan.
And he's very good, but I don't find that stuff as entertaining as other people do.
I get that.
Like
I get
the card tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
I find those things are. It's like bumping into a mime. You know, a mime is like the. I hate the mimes. Right?
Yeah, you got to make.
I don't hate the
flashy,
magicians.
though. Like,
it's funny that there are a couple of things that, for some reason, they just set me off. Mimes are irritating, but I don't hate them. I've never really found drag queens entertaining.
No, neither have
and I don't find auctioneers. I went to a thing the other day, and they were raising money, and there was an auctioneer. I find them so annoying.
Yeah.
And even if they're really nice people, when they're not auctioning, get 1,000, can I see 1,000? I hate it. And it's so embarrassing when you go to an auction, for example, and no one will buy the shit. And then the auctioneer is like pushing, and you're like, stop trying to get people's money for some signed rugby jersey.
An Australian rugby jersey.
Horrible.
No one wants
it's
it.
just, it's horrible.
Have you seen a hypnosis show?
But I wouldn't say magicians are in the category of things I really don't like. I mean, some magicians are phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And they blow your mind, and you go, wow, how the hell did he do that? But most of the time, I'm thinking, how did he do that? I'm not just allowing myself to be entertained.
100%. It's a thing. Well, we'll actually do something quickly.
You got
for
something?
the camera. Yeah, let's do something cool.
Well, then look at that camera.
That camera. There we go. Okay, we'll go this way. Here we go.
Look at this one. Go. Yeah. Jesus. The fuck did you pull that out of? You maniac.
You damn, yeah. Safest place in South
Where did you learn
Africa.
that hillbilly trick?
He's got
Okay, that's impressive.
Thank you.
All right.
And then also, I was asking if you ever seen a hypnosis show. Have you ever been to one?
They've never been able to hypnotize me.
Oh, really?
I've tried.
Yeah.
We've done it on the show live, and then I've done it sometimes off the show, where I've said, well, let's try it there first, and maybe if you can get it there, then we can do it on the show.
Yeah.
And the hypnotist, we had Andre, the hilarious hypnotist, on a while ago. He's great.
Yeah.
And he's been in it such a long time.
Yeah.
He knows every trick in the book, right?
Yeah, we watched this show.
And he said to me, there are some people that they're not good candidates. He can tell. He looks at the crowd. What did he say again? He said, if he looks into the crowd, there's some people who are really paying attention to everything that he says, and they're super eager. He's like, those are the ones that you got to go for.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And also, if you look at the people that freak out when I do magic, they're definitely more susceptible. I'll hypnotize those people a lot easier.
And you do the hypnosis as well.
Yeah. So my show is going to be hypnosis. So whoever volunteers at the Cirque.
So let's do this. So this is at the Cirque, 28 to 29 March at Cresta. Okay.
Yeah.
And Kevin and Mark will be doing a show there. And you'll be doing the comedy, you'll be doing the magic, but also hypnosis thrown in for extra measure.
Yeah,
if you don't, this is a real bargain.
Yeah,
you go out for most places will only give you comedy or magic or hypnosis. They're giving you all of those. And wait, there's more.
And wait, there's literally more. There's DJs
if you
afterwards.
bring your bag lady friend, Mark will give you free entry.
Yeah. Honestly, we're trying to give people as much reason to come as possible because, life has been hard in terms of finances. You know how this country is going.
No one cares about you.
So we're trying to give we're trying to give people as much as
that's very
we're trying to give people as much as we can possibly give them without them paying an arm and a leg. It's $250 max for the most expensive tickets. So if you pay taxes, those are the tickets that you're probably going to get because you contribute to this country. The rest of you, we've catered for you to 150 Rand at the back, 200 Rand in the middle for an average view. But I'm actually excited to see it because I saw hypnosis for the first time from Kevin, and the craziest things that you see. I mean, like that's why I was asking if you've seen a show. There's this one gag that can I tell?
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was doing the sound for him at his show, and the gag is called "Ladies and Gentlemen." So there's 3 guys who hypnotize right now. It's like, okay, every time I say "ladies and gentlemen," you'll get more and more upset. So he's like, okay, all right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to. Then the guy's like, hey, better not say that again. Hey, better not say that again. The second time he says, ladies and gentlemen, he's like, you guys are gonna get up. You don't do anything, but you're really, really gonna get upset. And he gets up, he's like, and there's this big Dutchman with a huge snore. He's like, yes, say that one more time. Say that one more time, buddy.
You're kidding.
And then he's like, the last time I say, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna run after me on stage and try to beat me up. That's how upset you are about it. This fool, his brother used to do the same trick, but he says, you need to come up to me in slow motion. He's like, no, I've got big balls. They're going to run up to me. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, and they literally run up to him and they tackle him. He tries to make them sleep before they get to him, but it's too late. Now all four of them are on the ground.
So
He's
you
like,
basically were
sleep.
assaulted by members of your own audience.
I literally got taken out on stage. All three of them put me on the ground in a stage show.
Now he's on the floor saying sleep like this. Sleep, 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 sleep.
Oh, it's great. The crowd was laughing.
Yeah.
Everyone
that
died.
sounds like a good time. I think this is awesome.
I was also a skeptic before until that, because they really went for him, man. They really did.
Maybe I get tackled again on stage at the 28th, the 29th. Yeah. We'll see how brave I am.
No, just do it in slow motion, Kevin. I feel like you should have learned by now. What are you doing? You like the drama.
The drama's part of it.
I want to play us something to remind us of how far we've come as a nation. All right, so Helen Ziller once did this on stage, and I don't ever want us to forget this. I don't like beating up on her. She's an old lady, and she's done a lot for this country, and she's brave as hell. But I just have to. It gives me like a. That uncomfortable kind of when I see this, but I think we got to remind ourselves. It's like we occasionally have to remind ourselves of how far we've come as a nation. This is one of those things. So I don't know if you remember this or if you've ever seen this before. Flex, you're going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
I played this clip of these really lame white people in Australia singing a song the other day, which they said this is even worse.
Mahadebe, Suzezo Specs, Uzem Chatweni, Yachati Sanan Klanje, Bebe Sidi, Ungawamli Soka, Bebe City, Ange Kachate Bulindlela, Bulindlela, Yeklumona.
Okay. Butchering it as well. That's one
so
of the best
just in
I've
case,
seen.
the internet is forever.
Yeah.
Some
really
things
is.
never die.
I like that high note.
Oh, here's a Scottish woman who went to a Canadian ice hockey match, but she reckons she's responsible for them doing badly.
Okay.
And listen to her reason. And I love the Scottish accent here too.
Really sorry. I came all the way from Scotland. I thought the Leafs were going to win. 2 games they lost. It must have been the fact that the guys were so overwhelmed at the size of my massive fucking tit. They lost concentration. I am sorry. They let me sit on the bench. That's why they lost tonight. They were overcome by Scottish pheromones. They didn't know what they were doing.
Is that too big for you, Mark?
I don't know.
My massive Scottish tits. I do love that. I mean, there's something,
Mark likes the big girls.
Hey, why are you exposing my business, bro? Do you know how many people listen to this show, bro?
Is this true?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. I don't know. Apparently, it's an anthropological thing, like being Zulu. Apparently, you naturally are inclined to be like that. But I do I get extra deep couches because I like them extra thick. You know what I'm saying? That's a Kanye West quote.
All right.
I do, because we often go out together, right? And
because
when two friends, yeah, I know. I don't know.
So whenever you go out with a chick, you look like the number 10. And
that hurt me. That hurt me. I'm touched.
You pay for dinner, but then she eats everything.
Yeah.
Right?
No. The thing is, I eat quite a lot. That's why I like them thick. I also eat down there too.
Well, that's great. Now that we've
got everyone, healthy appetite.
The most important thing is that everyone in South Africa knows that you are happy to
Yeah, they must know. They must know. So we go out quite often together. And you know, with two guy friends, there's often times where you'll see a girl is like, "Oh, do you like this one or that one?" Or a group of two. But
someone
never
has to take a hit with the like ugly fat.
Apparently, I'm taking the hits, but I find it marvelous, bro.
No,
I have a very best friend here. It's great.
Your wingman, dude. Now I understand this relationship.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, he's got a bag lady fetish. Basically, you'll take anything that comes your way.
Basically,
you're not picky at all.
I'm not.
And for you, that means that you can be the prime mover, and then he gets the scraps.
I get to choose. It's great.
Bro, but mine have
a
the
good
personalities. That's the difference. I like people with personality.
I still need to meet this flipping bag lady.
It sounds just horrific. You know, I've never been so glad that I'm not someone else. Bag ladies and foot fetishes and fat girls and
guys, the world is massive. Guys, don't limit yourselves. Alive with possibility.
Yeah, I suppose. True. There's a story that's just surfaced. I don't know. You know, the internet. You never know whether something's true or not. There's a soldier in our defense force that was in the Congo now. You know, we had those soldiers who were killed in the Congo. Very, very sad story. Apparently, there's a soldier who's just come back now. He's alive. He has impregnated 16 women in our army. And he's a dude from Soweto. So you think you've got game. No, seriously. So this is obviously not a picture of the actual. I don't know if that's AI generated. But you want to hear the story?
Yes.
Okay, listen to this. This is amazing. Just in case you're thinking, like, you know, you are the man or whatever. So the story is a private from the South African army has impregnated 16 of his fellow female soldiers who are deployed in Congo with him. Apparently, one of the reasons why South Africa is pulling their army out is because this one guy has made all of these girls pregnant. He has a nickname, Baltazar. His commanders have tried to stop him. They've even put him in jail multiple times, but he still manages to get to the female soldiers.
What?
And then he is one of the people who's leaving the Congo because the entire squadron may end up pregnant, and that may cause more problems than we can solve in the Congo.
This guy is determined, bro.
I don't know if it's true, but it is. I mean, in our army, it's totally possible, right?
Yeah, and also, like, what else does he have to do?
Show his privates as a private.
Show his privates, yeah. I mean, we know this is a much more ugly situation, but we know that there are these teachers in schools in South Africa or headmasters who will like sleep with 30 of the girls in the school and make them pregnant. So this happens in South Africa. So we've definitely got a problem where you know, these guys just they just can't stop
like,
themselves.
On the female camp, don't they see him coming? It's like, oh shit, somebody's getting pregnant today. Like, don't you guys use contraceptive? What's happening? I
don't know.
I think even if you were nailing all of these chicks, I think 16 is still a lot to get pregnant.
It's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of kids, bro. I don't know what he's doing.
Maintenance he's gonna have to.
If there's 16 pregnant
over defense force salary, bro. I don't know how you do it.
That's not gonna work.
These kids are eating pop until they're 18, bro.
Well, then the girls obviously get jealous of each other, and one of them put this doormat outside their house, which I think is quite great. Ho, why is you here? I actually really like that. I would love to have that doormat made.
Brilliant.
I had you know, you can get these neon signs made, right?
Yeah.
And I have a rule at my house that I will never allow communists or fat people in. No, don't laugh. I've got very good reasons for this. If you allow a communist into your house, because communists by definition don't respect property rights, so they will steal things or they'll break things, and they don't respect anybody else's property because they don't believe in property. You know?
Yeah.
So communists, you can't allow them in your house.
Yeah.
So even if you're a very funny, very cool, very interesting person who would be an excellent addition to a dinner party or whatever, I can't have you there. So I've got a neon sign that says no communists. I've got another one that says no fat people. Because again, it's not because I'm especially mean about fat people. I am, but that's besides the point. I mean, sometimes you have a family friend and he or she's a little bit overweight, or someone says, can I bring my girlfriend? And then she arrives and she's elephant sized. But it's not just because I'm being horrible. Yeah, Mark Mdluli would come with you'd bring one of your girlfriends. But the fat people, the problem is that they don't realize how big they are. It's like a Great Dane, and they bump things over, and then they'll break a vase or whatever. And I think that's quite. At least the signs are up to warn them.
Yeah. I told you so.
You know, it's like a right of admission reserved. You ran a venue.
100%.
You can decide who you allow into your space.
I like the non-communist thing.
Yeah.
Definitely people always stealing there. It's a great idea. The fat woman, Mark, wouldn't be a local anymore.
Yeah, I'd have to find a new bar.
Mark would be invited once, and then he'd realize like there was nothing there for him.
I'm out. I'm out.
All be
find me on Winnie Madigizela with my bag lady.
With your bag lady. Hey, next sign I gotta have made is no bag lady. But you can have these signs made. Like I'm sure I can get a ho. Why is you here?
Sure.
I think that'll be funny. All right, so you guys mentioned here in the notes when you were talking to the producers, dinners at the Grand. What's this all about? Because I love a dinner at the Grand. The teppanyaki.
Oh, brilliant.
Right?
Absolutely brilliant.
That guy who does that.
The prawns and the... Oh.
And by the way, I know that there's going to be someone in the audience who's, why would you go and eat at a strip club?
Firstly, the restaurant is separate from the strippers.
Don't encourage people who think that way to come and ruin what we're enjoying. I don't care if you don't. If you think there's something wrong with going to what is the best buffet restaurant in the country,
100%.
and not only you can also order stuff that isn't in the buffet.
It's a bit more expensive. But...
It can get expensive, but they have everything.
Yeah,
everything. Honest to God, the restaurant there is on its own a unique selling point.
Yeah,
the fact that there are topless women walking around, that's just a bonus.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And it is terrific. So I understand this, but explain your story.
So I actually became friends with Andrew just after COVID.
What a great guy.
Very great
Andrew
guy.
Phillips. What a terrific human being.
So I play chess with him whenever I get a chance. And Sunday dinners at the Grand. Yeah.
How do you concentrate on the game when there's a table of strippers?
At his hotel, actually, luckily.
Yeah,
so we go to the hotel, we play in the hotel, and then
okay.
Sundays we do dinner. I've been taking Mark every Sunday.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
There are benefits to this friendship on both sides. I see why you two are friends.
Exactly. But also, we went to his house the other day, and honestly, the most unbelievable house I've ever seen in my life. MTV Cribs has nothing on it. Like every room is virtually a house. And I even ended up taking a swim in one of his pools because it was so
huge.
One of his pools. Yeah, one of his many pools. There's an outside area. It was like, okay, now if I had a strip club, this is what I'd do with my money. This is exactly it.
Well, you know his story, right? He was working for a big consulting firm or something.
Yeah.
And he was on a plane on the way back to South Africa, and he thought, I hate my job. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm looking at spreadsheets. I'm going to meetings nonstop. There's no fun. I'm not enjoying my life. He's like, I want to do something wild.
Yeah.
And then he started the titty twister.
Yeah,
he told you the whole story?
Yeah, at the ranch.
The titty twister.
It's just down the road, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he started
That was the
small.
original one that he started.
Oh, okay, cool.
We should get him in. I don't know if he wants to do an interview because he really doesn't have. He's not like interested in marketing the place.
Yeah,
the people who know. And, I just think he's
got stories.
He's a very, very clever, very cool guy.
Yeah. One of the smartest men I've ever met.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So we go there mostly on Sundays, and then we just chill, we chat. It just feels like you've made it.
So instead of church, you go to the strip.
Yeah, exactly. I was made for this.
And you meet interesting people there too.
100%.
Met a woman who was abducted by aliens, apparently.
Oh my God!
Which was an interesting story to hear. But you know, I don't not believe it. I think if the aliens are going to abduct somebody, they're going to abduct somebody weird, so that if they tell the story, it's going to be unbelievable.
Have you ever heard of someone with tertiary education, maybe 2 or 3 degrees? They've got a stable, they've got a family, they grew up properly. They were never abused as a child or anything. The aliens never come down.
Never.
It's always some hick on a
Yeah,
farm in the
without
middle of
teeth
in the middle
and
of Arkansas. Yeah, he's missing teeth. And they're
So-
sleeping with their sister. And well, them aliens came and they put probes up my asshole. It's never people who live in a city.
Exactly. The aliens are
fucking
smart like that. They
hick.
don't want us to be. They don't want to be found out, so they'll choose those type of people.
And
like
why do they always want to probe people's assholes? I mean, if you're an alien, if you've traveled across the universe, millions of light years, at breakneck speeds, you have technology that can blow our minds. I mean, here we are trying to build a rocket to get to Mars, but you could travel across the universe.
Yeah.
And you get here, and the first thing you think is, got to probe those assholes.
Let's check them assholes out.
I do not understand. I am fairly convinced that is humans projecting their shit onto aliens.
100%.
If there are aliens, trust me, they would be so fascinated by the way we interact with each other, the things we've built,
our resources, maybe
our politics. I
yeah.
think they'd find that stuff interesting because we would be so backward to them.
Yeah.
But they would not be interested in our anatomy.
I think one of them obviously had a real tight arsehole and they had to go for the op, and they're like, it's easier to use the aliens for this.
The aliens have developed the technology.
Maybe they're just perverts.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the aliens are just perverts. I just don't understand it. You almost always, in those, certainly in the beginning of when people were talking about being abducted by aliens, that was always the stories. Like, well, I got back and I definitely had a sore ass. Really? That's the thing that happened to you? And it's always guys.
Yeah.
They don't seem to want to probe the women. It's always like guys. You got to think, why are you gay?
No.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
All right. I found this pretty disturbing. Someone sent me this yesterday. Have you seen the location of all the bodies on Mount Everest? Because when you die on Everest, they don't bury you.
Oh, okay.
No, well, you've got no energy at that altitude. You can't dig a fucking hole. What are you going to dig into a rock?
Yeah.
This is
and
a rock.
The person who comes and finds you is probably going to die there too. So.
Right. So they just leave the bodies, and then over time, the birds will come, or they'll get into the sun a little bit and bake, and then some so they don't move you.
Yeah.
So and sometimes because it's so cold, they do get preserved. So if you go up there and someone has been up there before, you might encounter them again. I mean, it's very disturbing. But look at this picture of the location of bodies on Everest. Look at how many of these crazy people.
Look at all those losers who died in the beginning. They didn't even make it halfway, bro. You need to work on your fitness, bro. 10,000 steps.
Who died at the beginning. That's great.
10,000 steps a day.
Oh, shame. Those guys on the left there, they probably thought that was Everest, but there's a whole other mountain there.
They went the wrong way,
base camp.
Unreal. But look how many die near the top.
Yeah.
That means you're probably climbing over bodies when you get that high up.
Definitely.
I mean, that's a lot of people. So you push them out of the way? Or do you have to treat them with respect and reverence? Or do you just like, get out of the way?
Yeah.
Got to get my selfie at the top of Everest.
Too many of you now. I'm done.
Yeah.
I expected like the first two, but now...
Get to the top of Everest and you're taking a selfie and it's like you're in an episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
with all these zombies behind you. Must be but what a horrible way to go. I mean,
standing on the shoulders of those before us.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, it must be way worse if you don't make it to the top. Like if you die on your way down, because at least you conquered Everest.
Yeah.
But how would we know? So you could be like you're joking about the losers who died at the beginning. But imagine if you, on your way up, you only got about 20 meters to go and you're like, and you didn't make it.
Big.
So you died and you didn't even achieve summiting Everest.
Who's wanting to summit Everest?
I don't know. It's not. That's not interesting. It's like
what's the motivation there?
It's like
scuba for you.
Yeah, scuba. There are a lot of things I've complained about this morning. Scuba, auctioneers, climbing Everest. We were ruining people's dreams. That's what we're in the business of this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Here's something else you need to see quickly. This is I don't know if this is again, who cares these days? Because, Trump's president again. We don't have to skirt around it. You don't have to worry. You can say anything you want now. Don't know what this is. A man, woman posing for a magazine cover, but I've never seen. Let me tell you, the standard of models has just dropped to an all-time low. Models used to be. If I heard that someone was a model, I would immediately treat them with respect. I'd be like, well, you must be a one of those humans who's just been gifted genetically, and you obviously are a very beautiful human being, and therefore I bow down to you. And this is the state of models in 2025. Look at this. Unbelievable.
Det här var ljuvligt. Så, alltså, wow. Men nu måste jag säga också. Niklas?
Alexandra, får du få ljus på dig så blir Niklas på sig hem.
Is going on there?
Now I don't know what that magazine QX. I don't know what that is. I don't know what people would want that. I don't know why they'd book that model. I have so many questions.
Why was he balding with long hair? Oh, he bald.
Yeah, the hair starts here,
but it's long as well.
Yeah, very bad hairstyle, among other things. I mean, it's funny you pick on the hairstyle. There's so much else.
She looked like a thumb, or he looked like a thumb, or it looked like a thumb. Pregnant thumb.
But that's the state of modeling in 2025.
What?
Frankly, now, if a modeling agency had to come up to any of us and say, hey, we would love to sign you. Say, but have you got that on your books?
No, thanks,
then I'm not interested.
It's the same delusion as all these social media flipping
influencers.
The Instagram
Except
models.
she's on a magazine.
Yeah. She's actually got a magazine cover. That's quite an achievement.
Made it further than most of them.
Yeah.
So apparently,
I don't know. It looks like I don't think it's a she.
Literally from the movie.
Apparently, that's very insulting. So you're allowed to sometimes get the pronouns wrong, but if you actually say it, that's actionable.
No, Donald Trump is president again. I say what I want. That's a it. You guys obviously don't believe in your own morals if Donald Trump is president again. So that's a it right there.
You're gonna love this. Apparently, I was in Bulgaria last year. Bulgarian football club Arda Kardzali apologized. Do you know what happened?
No.
They mistakenly held a minute's silence for a former player, but he's still alive.
Imagine watching that as the player.
Well, this guy's Petko Ganchev. The tribute took place in their 1-1 draw against Levski Sofia. The club later admitted they'd received incorrect information about his death. They issued a public apology, wishing him good health, though their statement was later deleted.
What? That's outrageous.
So they gave a minute of silence to Samoa, and he's busy watching the match. He's like, what is this bullshit? I'm still alive. Look, I breathe. I feel. What is wrong with you? Imagine he got onto the phone to the manager.
Yeah.
I think at that time I'm letting it be for a few days. Like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. Let's see how my funeral is. I mean, that'll be interesting to see like who shows up. And then you come afterwards, like, you didn't even come to my funeral, bro. We're not friends.
And you leave a will and you see who fights over the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting thought experiment.
Okay, so here we've got a couple of comments from some of the people who are watching and listening to the show this morning. She looks like that model. This is Bitcoin, but Sanella says, she looks like FW de Klerk during.
She actually does. That's a good one.
Talks.
That's a good one. During the peace talks. Not at any other time. But just then.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Gareth, you're a self-loathing white. No scuba, no auctioneers, no mountain climbers. Carl.
You're one of us, Gareth.
The bodies are probably not on the walking path, probably in ditches and in areas you can't reach, says Bitcoin. But no, I've seen photographs. They're sometimes in the way. Very inconsiderate.
I did watch a documentary.
Die somewhere else.
Die properly, man.
It's very spiteful of them to die in the path. You know, if you know you're gonna die, at least roll over to the side. Get out of the fucking way.
But I do agree with him. I did see a documentary where like they kind of fall, like the ice falls, so you fall down as well.
Right,
so it's not even necessarily that you were unfit or anything.
you
can just fall, like just because the ice fell.
Yeah, it's pretty high up.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
You know? The bodies in Everest is bad, but the heaps of shit are far worse. So apparently that's another thing that Congo Chris brings up. That's right. So what happens is people go up there and there's no, I'm just going to pop off to the bathroom quickly. So you just.
Since forever.
You just. Surely now the organizers of this tour have like hooked up porta potties or something. Halfway mark and at the top. You can shit at the bottom and you can shit at the top.
That's what you do.
So you might as well dig a hole.
Yeah. I tried finding the interview of the ransom lady from South Africa that said Epstein is an alien. Can't find it. Get to work, James. Find it for me. See, people are looking for old episodes. I'm telling you, they can't find these things. Then we've got... this is interesting. Marky Mark, that's what they call you.
Oh, okay.
This dude is always a blast to have on. That's Sanela giving you some props.
Sanela. That's so sweet.
Very nice. Who Henro is drunk just came from the Grand.
Someone drunk.
I think. Oh, Heno. Heno's in the comments here, and he says T percentage 8L. Yeah, he's drunk. He's just come from the Grand. Okay, that's who they're talking about. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, he's definitely
just
drunk.
From the
yeah.
Grand.
I hope you didn't drive. Ubered. Otherwise, you're going to be dead on the side of the road. And if I drive past, I'm going to keep driving past.
Exactly. We've established that nobody's helping you if you're dying, not even doctors, because they're not allowed to.
Anne Levenberg says, I was taken to the Grand for dinner on a first date. The food was great. No second date, though. Damn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Damn. Sorry about that. Golden Curtain in PE had a great buffet, but thanks to all the C-sections, the dancers were more carved up than the roast. Okay, there's some hardcore people in here.
Okay.
Zarina says they also have that hotel next door on a Boulevard Hotel. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got who's this? Randy, and she doesn't like Andrew, by the way. Randy says the U.S. Constitution has communist tenets written right into it. There's a balance between socialism and capitalism. Tell that to the crony capitalists who very quickly become communists when they're facing bankruptcy. The community needs my business. Ha ha. Okay, Randy. I'm never having you at my house. You commie bastard.
You commie bastard.
I want to introduce you to my friend Augusto Pinochet. He's got a helicopter he wants to take you up for a ride in. I'd love to be friends with Gareth, says KP, but I'm fat. Oh, well, we can't win everything.
Hey, Tom.
Make the door frames smaller so that us fatties can't fit through the door, says Matthew. There's a lot of fat people who listen to the show.
What's going
on here? It's because you're on this morning. It's because you're here this morning.
It's me. It's fine.
Funny that you mentioned that, but I have a double door at the entrance.
A double door?
Okay.
But the one is always latched.
Oh, okay.
I never open both doors, ever.
For the sake of the fat people. You're making sure they know.
They must know. They must know. They must know they're not welcome.
Not welcome, yeah. Okay. I don't know why this fat person wants to go to your house even though they're not allowed.
I've never invited one. I don't know any. The other day we were doing a show, the Let's Talk Man show, which you may have seen, and they're talking about addictions at the moment. So they've had people who've had alcohol addiction, smoking addiction, gambling addiction. They're looking for a sex addict, by the way. So if there's anyone in the audience who's interested in being the guest,
bro, don't they know who I am? Like, I've been to the show so many times now.
I was trying to ease you into it.
No, I even know Suhail. Suhail called me, bro. I know.
Oh, really? So you could be the sex addict.
Yeah, I'll be a sex addict.
Okay, so
the only thing is I'm not trying to heal from it. I don't know if you need somebody who's like recovered, still in the program. I don't know.
No, just if you
send me a brief.
You know, they say you're always recovering. There's no such thing. So we'd be happy to have you on.
All right, cool.
But Senna, the producer, she said to me, she asked me with this honest, she's very like naive and sweet. She says to me, I'm looking for a very fat person for the show because we want to talk about people who are trying to lose weight. I looked at her. I was like, I don't know any fat people.
Have you met me?
Like you're barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those people. All right, so then that's enough of the fat.
Let's trim the fat off this conversation.
Fat people listen to the show for motivation. Remember that fat girl who mocked you into thinness? I mocked into. Okay, so that was Fat Pat. She wrote a book about losing weight. Yeah, and she actually she mentioned me in the foreword of the book. I interviewed her afterwards because she said I was so mean about fat people that she decided fuck you. And I'm happy to be the motivation. I mean, if you hate what I'm saying so much, then if it helps you to lose weight, I mean, I don't think I'm that powerful, but if it motivates you, it's like you remember what I said in Grahamstown once.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Let's see. All the fat people listening to the show must have 2 YouTube accounts so that they can like and subscribe twice. It's fair considering they're taking up space for 2 people in the comment section.
All the fat people, I'll hypnotize you at the show to lose some weight. Come through. We'll see you there.
But okay, so you're obviously, that's entertainment, but people are using hypnotherapy for all kinds of stuff, right?
100%. I don't really want to dive into people's brains there.
You end up with all this
seriousness of you having the responsibility of changing their smoking habits and their lives and them getting out of depression. I don't know. I think from what I see for you, it's just entertainment.
Yeah, I'm an entertainer. We'll leave that to the psychologists and psychiatrists.
I just entertain. I don't care about people. Don't ask me to care.
We've already got a doctor in the family. I'm here for entertainment.
Mark,
yes.
Carl says, can't you bring your girlfriend on so that she can speak about how she beat anorexia?
Well, she was motivated to be with me, so I told her you have to eat at least 3 meals a day if you want to be with me.
You're a feeder.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then you might have Mike Boslace on your case. I think you mean Mike Bollace, but I get you. Thank you, Chade Gelderman. You can change the show to Fet Cook Mulhace for an episode. I don't know what you're talking about here, but you can't start the day with drugs.
Hey, bro. It's too early. Everybody's just walking back from the grad now. It's like, guys, are you guys listening to Gareth?
Our entire audience has been at the grad.
Exactly, bro. Guys, we got a shout out.
Here we were just talking shit, and now it turns out all our listeners and viewers are basically regulars. All right. This is interesting. Congo Chris says, Kevin, please hypnotize Gareth to let people use his toilet at his house. I don't. It's not an interesting story because we've discussed it so many times. I don't like it when people go to your house and take a shit. I'm sure you don't like it.
It's weird. Like you just.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, wait till you get home.
And what poor control over your own body do you have that you suddenly like? I wasn't going to, but now I need to go.
I just want to find out. Do you have like the bathroom schedule going? Or
I just don't. I don't like people taking a shit in my house. I don't think that's unreasonable.
No. Yeah. Fair. I agree with that. I think if you walk into your bathroom, the only shit you should smell is your own.
I'd prefer to smell none.
Oh.
You just leave it. What do you leave it there? You don't.
No, but the smell lingers, bro.
Have you ever been taught to use a toilet properly, Mark? I'm very worried about you. It's because you're hanging around with bag ladies and they don't have flushing toilets. They just use the side of the road.
No, I eat a lot with my fat girlfriend, so
so they need to use the bathroom a lot. Okay, well, while we're being lavatorial, I just thought this was interesting. Leanne was on the show with me on Monday, and she sent me these yesterday. Now, I'm not going to wait a whole week, but since you brought it up, here's some important public service announcements.
Oh,
okay.
Toddler and child stools are often brown, while infant stools may vary from green to deep yellow in color, sometimes brown and seedy in consistency. Formula-fed babies' stools can sometimes appear pastier. Isn't that useful to know?
Well, I don't plan on having babies anytime soon.
Now,
but
at the bottom there are colors that you should be nervous about, guys. We do this show to help people. Okay? If you have red or black stool, that may mean there's bleeding in the what is that? GI? The intestinal tract.
Black.
White or grey stools. If you shit white, let me tell you, there's a new pope.
No, bro.
Okay.
Some soft serve.
White or grey stools could be a sign of liver or pancreatic disease.
Oh, wow.
Keep in mind there are many other factors that also could. So I thought, we often make fun of these things. We talk about it like it's a big joke. These are serious things you need to think about.
Not white, bro. Not white. White is like you could put that in an ice cream cone and launch somebody. Looks like ice cream.
And then this is also important, the consistency discussion.
Oh, wow.
So you've got severe constipation all the way through to mild diarrhea. And I really I'm more disturbed by the mild diarrhea than anything else. Mushy consistency with ragged edges.
Ragged edges.
So what I want you to do is we'll keep that up there for a second. You can screenshot that.
Yeah.
Send it to your loved ones this morning.
Exactly.
And say to them,
I'm just surprised there's no corn in any of those.
Oh.
No, but corn is like a staple part of shit, guys. You guys, whoever drew these, he's not focused.
All right. But then you know what? This is important.
Yeah.
And I do think if you take a screenshot, you send it to your most beloved friends and family this morning and say to them, just checking in with that picture. Just checking in. What number are you?
Yeah. What color was your poo this morning?
And I'll tell you what, you'll know who your real friends are by their reaction. Just don't do it to some girl you only met yesterday and you're trying to impress. She will run a million miles away.
You can't ask anyone on Tinder or
Hell no. Hell no. Barely Vocal Media says albinos apparently make white shits.
That is just fucked up. Whoever you are, wow. Straight up.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh.
And when it's brown, it's unhealthy.
Oh, that's horrific. Okay, so if your turd is white, your uncle put something in your drink again. That's what Conco Chris says. Bill Cosby's been coming to visit. I'm just gonna. Why don't you try a little bit of your
ice cream shit too?
It's disgusting. High Octane Henrik says, at least this show always keeps it classy. Yes,
We're saving lives out here, bro.
Yes, we do.
People have lost weight because of this show. So please,
that's
no
what
judgment.
we do. Exactly. Well, what are you doing for humanity?
Exactly.
This is, we're philanthropists. Exactly. That's what we really are.
100%.
All right, we only got a couple of minutes left. Let's remind people when you guys are doing your show and where they can go and see it.
28th,
this is the plug. Go.
Yes, this is the plug. The reason why we're here. The 28th and the 29th of March, we've got a show at the Cirque and Cresta called Circus at the Cirque.
Circus at the Cirque, baby.
There we go.
All right,
so
very nice.
Comedy, magic, hypnosis, fire breathers, stilt walkers, DJs till 2 a.m. Just come. It's the best way you can spend your money this month.
We'll see you there.
Carl DeSantis in the comments says, this conversation has made me hungry.
Oh!
What do you eat, bro?
You people are revolting. Oh, you people are revolting. All right. That is enough. I've had enough. It's been tremendously entertaining. You guys are always welcome back.
Cool.
It's great to
so
spend
much,
time
guys.
with you. Nice to see you again, Mark.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Kevin. And we will catch you on Monday because Friday's a holiday. We're not going to be here on Friday. And you guys don't have to come on Friday. Just in case James has told you can come to Friday's show. Okay. Because make sure, James, that whoever you had booked for Friday knows that it's a holiday. All right. Because I'm not coming here to lock up and open up and give them coffee. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Gareth.
Like, subscribe, and all that stuff so we can break the back of that shadow ban that I'm pretty much convinced that they've got us on. And tell your friends and family when you're sending them that picture with the poo, then say to them, oh, and I've got this great podcast for you as well. That's where I got the idea. Give us a little bit of credit, or else you might find yourself on Everest.
You give great advice.
Mahadebe, Suze suspects. Who's them? Chat 20. Ya chati sana flanje. Baby, see him. Ungawamli soka. Baby, city. Ange kachate bulindlela. Bulindlela. Yeah. To protect democracy, we gotta stand up if we wanna see a future for the territory. Nothing left that we can do. It's the voice we want. Honesty, it's the voice we want. Integrity, it's the voice we want. Democracy, the voice.